Because most of the parents are so busy that they don't even have time for their kids. So, and looking at our population, most of our young ones are in Europe. Some people do marry, leave 2, 3 kids here, and they are in Europe. Do you expect their mother to take care of them? Like if they are boys, how will their mother take care of them? How will their mother know where they are? And all those things. So all that our people care for is how much do you send at the end of the month, which is a big problem here in the Gambia. So now handling these kind of kids, you need to be extra careful. That's why we normally ask our kids to come to school at 8 o'clock. So that when they have this problem at home, psychologically we will now begin to help them before they get into their normal lesson by 8:30. Because most of the kids are psychologically depressed at home, and they don't have that kind of happiness before they come to school. So when they come and have maybe 2 5-minute play with their colleagues, then they refresh themselves before they get into the classroom. And that is what we do with our kids.
As a pastor, as a religious person, you touch on important issues here concerning parents and their responsibilities, social and religious. Morality as such.
Yes.
Many believe it's not just the Gambia, but everywhere is in the decline.
Yes.
And it is fundamentally, the cornerstone of religious piety. When people lose that moral touch, compassion, how much does it tell about society?
Yeah, then the society become very rotten. That's number one, in the sense that there will be no respect for anyone. When we are growing up in the village, like being a senior man like you, I cannot just come and call you by name. Like in Ghana, hardly will you find any child just calling you Diba. No, you either call you uncle if he doesn't know you, and that is the same thing we do in our school. So we don't just ask any child to call anybody anyhow. Yeah, even the teachers, they call them uncle or mister. And when they are close by 3:30 going home, when the school bus come, they have to queue. They don't have to push one another here and there like other schools will do. Everybody would bomb at the same time. And like what do happen in Banjul, when there's scarcity of car, everybody bomb.
Yeah, I really am a living witness to this. I was in Ghana for years, and I can attest to that. There is discipline almost in everything. Exactly. You come to car parks, you see people in queues, no hustle, no push and pull. We lack that here. You go to the garage or the bus stop, when the bus arrives, people start pushing and struggling and getting into the bus. Sure. Where do you trace that to?
I trace that thing to parental care, in the sense that if the parents are helping at home, kids will not just misbehave anyhow. You know, we are following a system that is not our system. That is the Western culture. So if we want to follow that one fully, we'll lose a lot of things. Because now looking at our society in the Gambia, they see something in the US TV today, the next day you see them doing it. Because looking at most of these young ones now, you see them barbering their hair, which was not common in the Gambia. Ladies barbering their hair like men. It was not something, that is not our culture.
And loose trousers.
Loose trousers, these are not our culture. But then we just see it outside and we think it's good. We buy into it and then we lose our culture.
That's where you people come in, the religious people.
Yes, exactly.
Are you also abdicating your responsibilities?
Yes, obviously what we do with, because for now we can only do that through the school and through the church. And what we preach that in the church and in the school too, we invite parents and we talk about this. And in our school, our kids, they know, even if they played Rasta during feast, immediately after feast and they know that they are going to school the next day, they will tell their parents to lose it.
So there are some people who simply argue we are fighting a losing battle, we cannot control the situation, our kids will just have to go that way. the power of the mass media to corrupt morally. And then you have these imbalances in the flow of global information. We are almost on the receiving end. These things images will be there always in our bedrooms, in our sitting rooms, in our dining rooms, everywhere you are.
And that's why we develop a system in our school. We only have one shift. And in this shift, what we do is that because we know most of the parents will be closing by 4. So now if you close these kids by 3:30, by the time they get home, their parents would have been on their way coming. So before they will go home, because most of these kids, now looking at our society, a child of 3 years will know how to operate TV. And you will not have that control when you are at work to know what channel is that child watching. And that's why we are using Ghanaian system. We engage them with a lot of things like we do introduce taekwondo. So you mean there
is this unnecessary exposure, sometimes even dangerous exposure, unlimited.
Exactly.
To outside influence. And
so that is why we close them at that time. By the time they get home, they are tired, they need to rest, and they have assignment to do. Every day they go with assignment.
They won't have the time to
they will not have much time to fool around. So from that time, then their parents would have been at home to help them.
As a religious man, I have interest in this area, and I would want to know what your position and opinion is. The peaceful coexistence between Christians and Muslims in this country. What is your take on this?
Yes, the Gambia has always been like that, but more now that our president is always talking about that. And Gambia, like we all know, Christians and Muslims are always together, because there's no Muslim who will tell you that I don't have any Christian relative or Christian friend. And there's no Christian who will tell you that I don't have any Muslim relative or a Muslim friend. So with this, Gambia, you can be sure that there will be nothing like Nigeria or some of the things we see in other countries, because Gambians are one. And this oneness will continue, I believe.
Yeah, it's good that you yourself mentioned Nigeria as a fitting example here. But why is Nigeria different? I'm not asking you to speak for Nigerians, but from a personal perspective.
Well, my experience with Nigerian, I visited Nigeria a couple of times. When I was a student, I visited Nigeria several times, and when I came back home too, I visited Nigeria several times. But what I came to find is that you can easily see the distinction between Christian and Muslims.
The divide is all too conspicuous.
Yes, you can just see it just like that. But in the Gambia here, how will you know in the street whether I'm a Muslim or a Christian? It's difficult to tell. Unless maybe if I mention my name, sometime you may see, because we have a lot of Christians who have Muslim names, and we have even Muslims who have Christian names. So even if you go to the tourist industry, all of those ones, all of those bombers and all those things, they all have Christian names.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Many of them.
You come also in town here, you find a lot of people having Christian names, but that does not mean that they are Christians, or Christians having Muslim names. That may not necessarily mean that they are Muslims. So that one in the Gambia, you know, and this, one of the things that is very strong, and some of the things that I like, that is, I'm from Nyomi, and if a Jaranka will see me, he will start teasing me.
The joking relationship.
Yeah, the joking relationship. So with this, you know, it will hardly, if not impossible, you know, create any conflict in the Gambia, because the moment I touch you, I have touched my friend, I have touched a relative. So obviously, it will be practically impossible to have any conflict or religious conflict in the Gambia.
Even for the long term?
Yes, even for the long term. The only thing we need to work on as Gambians is the parental problem that I'm talking about. We are really losing grasp of it in the sense that, you know, sometimes you go to the beach during this tourist season, you don't know where some of these kids are coming from. So some of these kids will be there up to 12 o'clock. Which time will they have to go and study their books and then to pass their exams. And that is